If this weird two-metal trick really works, it would be one of the craziest cheap water hacks on the internet. The claim is simple. Twist two metals together, drop them into muddy water, and somehow the water turns clear. No expensive filter, no machine, no complicated setup, just metal, dirty water, and a result that looks almost impossible. So today I'm testing it for real, not on slightly dusty water, not on a clean sample with a little color added for the camera. I'm using genuinely nasty muddy water, because that's the only test that matters. If this trick is real, it needs to do something obvious, and if it's fake, we're going to see that too. Here's why this video matters. First, the visual promise is insane. Dirty brown water turning clear is the kind of transformation people cannot ignore. Second, cheap secret hacks spread fast because they sound like hidden knowledge normal people never hear about. And third, water is one of those survival topics that instantly grabs attention because everybody understands how important it is. But let's make one thing clear right now. Even if water looks cleaner, that does not automatically mean it is safe to drink. That matters a lot. Because the internet loves dramatic visuals, but your body does not care how good something looks on camera. Clear water can still be unsafe. So this test is about one thing first. Does this metal trick visibly change muddy water in a dramatic way? Because if it can't even do that, the whole claim falls apart immediately. I've got two jars here. Same size, same amount of muddy water, same sludge, same color, same cloudy mess. One jar is the control, which means I leave it alone so we can compare results honestly. The other jar gets the two metal setup. That way, if anything changes, we actually know where the change came from. And this water looks bad. Thick brown color, floating particles, zero clarity. If you dropped your phone in this, you'd never see it again. This is exactly the kind of water that makes a dramatic claim feel exciting because the before is so ugly that even a small improvement looks huge. Now here's the setup. Two different metal wires twisted together, then placed into the dirty water. That's it. No hidden filter. No pump. No fancy container. Just the metal sitting in the jar while we wait and watch. This is the moment where viral videos usually try to rush you. They cut away, add dramatic music, and come back with a miracle. I'm not doing that. I want to watch what actually happens. Because the whole point of testing these claims is separating a real reaction from a fake payoff. At first, nothing shocking happens. The water still looks muddy, still brown, still gross. And honestly, that's already useful, because bad viral hacks often rely on instant imagination. People want to believe so badly that they mentally finish the result before it happens. But give it a little time, and now we're getting somewhere. Look near the bottom of the jar. Some of the heavier particles are starting to clump together. The water near the top looks slightly different too. Not crystal clear, not even close, but different. That matters because now we've moved from fantasy into actual change. This is where the test gets interesting. Because there are only two possibilities. Either the metals are helping pull suspended particles together so they settle faster, or this is just normal settling that would have happened anyway. And that's exactly why the control jar matters. So let's compare them side by side. The control jar is still ugly, brown all the way through, no visible separation yet. The test jar, though, is starting to develop layers. The lower section looks denser, like more of the dirt is collecting there, while the upper layer looks a little lighter. Again, not magic, but definitely movement. And this is why these videos get people hooked. It's not just the final result, it's the suspense of watching something impossible start to become plausible. Once there's even a hint of change, people lean in. They want proof, they want payoff. They want to know if the wild claim is about to embarrass itself or actually deliver. Now, let's talk about the real reason this kind of trick spreads like crazy. It combines three addictive ideas at once. The first is simplicity. People love the thought that something powerful could be hiding in plain sight. The second is cost. If a weird little setup can do what expensive systems do, that feels like forbidden knowledge. And the third is survival. The second you mention water, especially dirty water, people pay attention. But this is where most videos become misleading. They jump from the water looks better to the water is purified. Those are not the same thing. Not even close. Removing visible dirt is one thing. Removing harmful contaminants is another. And if a video skips that difference, it turns curiosity into bad information. So I'm not calling this safe. I'm calling it a test. And visually, the test is getting stronger. We've now let both jars sit longer, and the difference is much easier to see. The jar with the metal setup has noticeably more settling. The bottom looks darker because more of the suspended junk has dropped out of the water column. The top portion is lighter and less chaotic. The control jar still looks far more evenly dirty. That's a real visual result. Not a miracle, but a result. And honestly, that makes the video better, not worse. Because fake perfection is forgettable. Real testing is addictive. When something sort of works, people argue about it, they replay it, they send it to friends, they debate what's happening. That's exactly the kind of reaction that pushes a video further. Now I want to push this test one step further. I'm going to carefully pour off some of the upper layer from the test jar into a clean glass so we can see it more clearly. And right away you can tell the difference. It is still not drinking water. Let me say that again because it matters. This is not drinking water, but compared to the original muddy mess, the upper layer is visibly clearer. And that is the shot people click for. Dirty brown sludge in one hand, much clearer water in the other. That side-by-side visual is everything. It gives the brain a payoff instantly. It answers the thumbnail. It rewards the title. It makes people keep watching because now they want the explanation too. So what's probably happening here? The best guess is that the two-metal setup may be helping create conditions that encourage some particles to clump and settle faster. That's a visual cleanup effect, not proven purification. Think of it like helping mud drop out of suspension, not magically turning swamp water into safe drinking water. That distinction is the whole video, because this is where curiosity becomes credibility. If I pretend this jar is now pure, the video gets louder for a moment and weaker forever. But if I show the result honestly, people trust the channel more. And trust matters if you want views that keep coming back instead of one cheap spike. Now look at the jars one more time. The original muddy water still looks like a disaster. The control jar didn't improve much. The test jar has a clearer upper section, heavier settling at the bottom, and a much stronger visual separation. So did the two-metal trick do something? Yes. Visually, it appears to have helped the muddy water separate faster. Did it turn dirty water crystal clear? Not instantly, not perfectly, and not in the magical way the internet loves to promise. Did it purify any water? Absolutely not a claim I would make from this test. And weirdly, that honest answer is stronger than the fake one. Because the truth is still fascinating. A cheap, strange little setup created a visible change in filthy water right in front of us. That is real enough to be interesting, but not reckless enough to mislead people. That's the punchline. This trick might help dirty water look clearer, but clear is not the same as clean, and clean is not the same as safe. So if you ever see a dramatic water hack online, remember this test. Don't ask only, does it look better? Ask the better question. What problem is it actually solving? Because on the internet, visuals can fool you fast. And with water, looks fine can be the most dangerous phrase in the room. Still, as an experiment, this was insanely satisfying. Watching mud separate, seeing the upper layer brighten, comparing the control jar to the test jar, that's exactly the kind of result that makes a simple experiment worth clicking on. 2 twisted metals, 1 jar of nasty water, 1 weirdly compelling result. Not magic, not a miracle, but definitely not nothing. And now the bigger question is obvious. What's the next impossible water claim we should test?